right, good morning, boys and girls. Welcome to lesson 3. All right, you know what to do. We're going to wiggle, shake it out. Bring your hands down together. We're going to pray to Jesus, so close your eyes. Dear Jesus, I just thank you for my friends at home that are watching, Lord. Help them to know how much I love them and miss them. Just please be with them. Keep them safe. Keep them healthy. Keep their family members healthy, Lord. Just help them to put on their listening ears and to learn something amazing about you today, Lord. And we just pray for all the sick people and all the people that are tending to those that are sick. We just pray that you be with them in a special way. We know you're in control. And so just tell fear to just get out of here, Lord. In Jesus' name, amen. Okay, we're going to start off with that Bible verse, which is in Proverbs 20:11. Even a child is known by his doings. So let's say that together. We're going to say it 2 times the regular way. You ready? Proverbs 20:11. Even a child is known by his doings. Good job. Proverbs 20:11. Even a child is known by his doings. All right, now we're going to do it in a baby voice, okay? Proverbs 20:11. Even a child is known by his doings. Okay, now let's say it in a whisper voice, okay? Proverbs 20:11. Even a child is known by his doings. Okay, now we're going to say the one that Miss Jen has this. We're going to do it with standing on one leg. So, you know, I got to get ready. I don't do this one very well. Y'all do this one really good in our classroom. Are you ready? Proverbs 20:11. Even a child is known by his doings. Great job. Okay, now we're going to go into our Bible lesson. We're going to go over a little bit of lesson 2. In lesson 2, remember we learned that Jesus was put in this tomb. His dead body was put in this tomb, and the guards have rolled this huge heavy stone in front of the hole, and they put even some guards to stand guard so no one could come and steal Jesus' body and say that he rose from the grave. But guess what? Jesus did rise from the grave. That death could not keep him there in that tomb. He was alive just like the Old Testament, the Bible had said he would. And we know that everything in the Bible is a true story. This Bible lesson that I'm telling you right now, this is a true story. And this is why we celebrate Easter. We celebrate that day. Easter Sunday is the day that we celebrate that as the day that Jesus rose from the grave. So this is a perfect time to be learning this very true Bible story. So we remember that God sent an angel from heaven. And the angel came from heaven. And when he appeared, those guards that were standing guard in front of the tomb fell to the ground. They fell into a deep sleep. And the guard uses God's power to move that heavy stone. And out came Jesus. He was alive, just like the Bible said. And so we learned that Mary and her friends were going to the tomb to put some special oils on Jesus' body because they thought Jesus was still dead. And we know that dead bodies sometimes they don't smell so good. So we're going to come put some special oils and lotions. But when they got to the tomb, they saw something was weird. Something was odd. The big, huge stone that was there the day before was not there. The hole to the cave was empty, to the tomb. And they said, what's going on? And then they saw this angel. At first they were scared. Remember, every time in the Bible when people saw angels, they were always kind of scared, right? But this angel said, hey, don't be afraid. Go look in the tomb and tell me what you see. So they went into the tomb and they said, where's Jesus? He's not here. And the angel said, that's right. Just like the Old Testament said, Jesus rose again on the 3rd day. Death could not keep him here, just like the Bible had said. It was a true story. And they said, go and tell everyone that Jesus is alive. So Mary and her friends ran, and they ran to the disciples to tell the disciples that Jesus' body was gone. They didn't know what had happened to Jesus' body. They were still a little bit confused. But they did what the angel said, and they ran to tell these 2 disciples right here. All right, we know that Jesus had 12 best friends, and they were called what? Disciples. That's right. So we've learned a lot about these 2 disciples over the past couple of months. It was Peter and John. That was the first 2 disciples that Mary and her friends came to, and they said, Peter, John, guess what? We went to the tomb to put some special oils on Jesus' body, and when we got there, we saw that huge, heavy stone that the Roman soldiers had put in front of the tomb, it was rolled away. And we went inside, and Jesus' body was not there. And an angel was sitting on top of that huge stone and said, hey, Jesus is not here. He's alive. He's risen. And they said, they told us to come back and tell you disciples all about it. So Peter and John said, what? We've got to see this. And so they ran as fast as they could. I want everyone to pretend like you're running. They ran like this as fast as they could to the tomb. And just like Mary had said, they saw that the stone was rolled away. They went inside and they looked around. Where was Jesus' body? Just like the angel and Mary had said, it wasn't there. And so they went away, and they still were a little bit confused about what had happened to Jesus' body. But we already know, we know what happened to Jesus' body. He was alive, and he had walked out of that tomb. But Mary comes back to the tomb, just by herself, not without her friends. And what is she doing right here, boys and girls? Does she look like she's happy? She's not happy. She's crying because she's kind of confused. She does not know. She knows she saw an angel. She knew that somebody had to roll this stone away, but she missed her friend Jesus. She was sad that he had died, and she didn't understand where his body was. She still didn't understand that Jesus was alive. And when she got to that tomb, she was crying. And who do you see right here behind her? Someone very special. If you said Jesus, you're right. Jesus walked up to Mary right behind her, and he said, Mary. She turned around. She knew that voice. That sounded like Jesus. And she turned around, he said, Mary. And she said, Jesus? Is that really you? And he said, it is me, Mary. I did just like the Bible said. I rose again. I'm alive again. Don't be sad. Wipe your tears and go back and tell the disciples that I'm alive, that you have seen my body and that I'm alive. That was really good news. She was very surprised to see Jesus, and we're going to find out what happens when Mary goes back and tells the disciples. Not only had she seen the angel in the empty tomb, but now she'd actually seen Jesus himself. And we're going to pick up our story there, not next week, because next week we're going to take Easter off for a break, so you won't have any video lessons. But when we come back after our Easter break, we're going to find out what happens. Okay, class, welcome to lesson 3. Just like I said in lesson 2, we're going to learn today about Vicky Vulture. This letter right here is the letter V. Can you say that? Say it with me. V. And V says V, 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 as in Vicky Vulture. So we're going to learn about Vicky Vulture. Actually, this little chick right here is Vicky Vulture, and this is the mommy vulture right here. So we're about to learn about that, but first we're going to sing the Vicky Vulture song, okay? We're going to sing it 3 times. Vicky Vulture, Vicky Vulture, V says v, v, v. Violin and vegetables, Valentine and violets, V says v, 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 v. Okay. Vicky Vulture, Vicky Vulture, V says v, 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 v. Violin and vegetables, Valentine and violets, V says v, 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 v. Okay, one more time. Vicky Vulture, Vicky Vulture, V says v, 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 v. Violin and vegetables, Valentine and violets, V says v, 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 v. Okay, we're going to talk about Vicky Vulture. And just like we do every time we learn about a new animal, we go over who made these animals. So who made Vicky Vulture? It's this little chick right here, and her mommy and daddy. That's right, God did. We can't make a vulture. We can't make a bird that can fly and squawk and go and find food. Only God can do that. That's something that only God can do. And God is the one that made Vicky Vulture. He made Vicky Vulture very interesting and kind of gross. But we're going to get to that in a minute. All right, right here, this is a chick. It's a baby vulture. And what color do you think this baby chick vulture is? It's tan. It's kind of like a light shade of brown. It's a very light color and it's tan. And it's just a fluffy little chick. It cracked from a brown spotted egg. And when it was getting too big for its shell, it used its beak to tap out of its shell. But it lives way high up in a cave on top of a mountain. If you wanted to go to find Vicky Vulture's nest, you'd have to climb a very tall mountain and look in a dark cave to find Vicky Vulture, and that's where you would see her. And her mommy and daddy are really good parents. They take care of Vicky Vulture. When she was an egg, they wouldn't build a nest like most birds do. They would keep the mommy would keep the egg on her feet to keep it warm with her feathers. We learned about another kind of bird that did that. Do y'all remember? That's right, the penguins did exactly that, except they kept their eggs on their feet, because what would happen if the egg touched the snow and the ice? That's right, the egg would freeze. So the penguins kept the egg on their feet to keep it from freezing. But Vicky Vulture's mom keeps the egg on her feet just to keep it warm. And when she's big enough, the baby chick will tap out of its egg and come out. And Vicky Vulture's mom will go and find food and bring back and feed her for a very long time. She takes really good care of her, even when she's still a baby chicken, even when she gets a little bit older. Now she's going to stay this tan color until she becomes a grown-up like her mom, and then she will turn into what color? What color is this big one? Black. That's right. And when she turns into a grown-up, she'll be a little bit bigger than a turkey. But whenever she's little, her mom takes really good care of her and even teaches her how to fly. When she's smaller, she'll climb up on her cave on a little rock, and she'll kind of spread her wings, and she'll just test her wings from a little spot inside the cave for a little while until her wings get bigger and bigger, and she can stretch them out like her mommy and daddy vulture and learn to fly in the sky. Now, Vicky Vulture's mom and dad they do a very important job. God made them to kind of be like a trash can bird, okay? What they do is they look for dying or already dead animals, and they will swoop down. They will hover, especially when the animal is dying. They can look down and see from high up in the sky, oh, this animal looks like it's sick and it's about to die. And they will circle and circle above that animal until it dies. And once it's dead, they will swoop down and they will eat that dead animal, kind of like the garbage men that come and take our trash and bring it somewhere and take it far away from us. Vicky Vulture's mom and dad do a very important job. They keep all those dead animals. They eat all those dead animals so we don't have stinky carcasses everywhere. In Louisiana, we do have a black vulture that lives here in Louisiana, and Miss Jen has seen lots of black vultures. I live in the country, and sometimes a possum or a raccoon might get hit by a car, and I have seen a black vulture swoop down and eat some of those stinky, yucky carcasses. So even though that's kind of gross, that's what God gave it a special job to do, and that's what it does. So we're going to talk about how to write the letter V. V says V, 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 as in Vicky Vulture. So we're going to alligator our clamp, our choo-choo train, to keep it on our track. So this is the sheet that we're going to be working on today. It's our Vicky Vulture sheet. And we're going to start at the top, and we're going to go down, stop, and go back up. And the little V is just like the big V, the capital V. Our little V is exactly like that. We're going to start at the top, go down, and come back up. I'm going to show you right here on my board. So here is our letter V, and we're going to pretend that our choo-choo train is just like Vicky Vulture's daddy. Here he is. He's flying above in the sky, and he sees something dead on the highway. So he's going to come down. We're going to go really slow. He's going to swoop down, and he's going to pick at that dead piece of meat, that dead animal, and then he's going to swoop back up to the sky to bring it back to his cave for the baby vultures. Now the little vulture, remember we talked about when the baby vultures in their cave, they start practicing on how to fly. They get on a little rock. Remember the little V? Looks just like the big V. It's just a little bit smaller. So the baby vulture gets on a rock, and it practices flying down. It jumps off the rock, boop, boop, to the bottom of the cave, and then it spreads its wings and jumps right back up to the rock. And that's how you write the letter V. The next sheet we're going to work on today in lesson 3 is this sheet. This is our counting sheet. Okay, so we have a bunch. We have a farmer right here with his little cute dog, and he's planting some cabbages. So we're going to count how many cabbages that we have right here. What color are we going to use to color the cabbages? Green, that's right. So we're going to find our green choo-choo train, and we're going to color. We're going to try to stay in the lines of this green right here, and we're going to color our cabbages. But we're going to count them, and we're going to circle. We have 3 numbers right here. We're going to only circle the number of cabbages that we have. Okay, so let's count them so we'll know what number to circle. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. So we have 14 cabbages. Boys and girls, is this the 14? No, so we will not circle it. This is a 13. How about this one? Is this a 14? No, this is a 15. We're about to get to that number. What about this one? That's right. This is the number that we've been learning about for the past couple of weeks. This is our special number 14. So we have 14 cabbages. So we're going to want to take our choo-choo train and draw a circle around the number 14. And we're going to want to color our cabbages. So I hope at our next Zoom meeting, you will have this sheet done and you can bring it to our Zoom meeting and show me that you counted the cabbages, colored them green, and circled the right number. All right, guys. See you next week for our next batch of lessons.